Hello everyone, I'm just going to go through a little demonstration on how I grow my sweet peas and how I sow them. As you can see, this variety here, already up, this is called Winston Churchill, and as you can see, I've sown them in a seed tray. The reason I sow mine in a seed tray is because I like to get mine up and germinated, and then I prick them out into pots such as this one here, and I'll prick out 5 plants into a pot, 4 in the corner, one in the middle, and I'll choose all the same size plants per pot, so they're all evenly, they should all get away and grow at the same even rate. This variety is called Winston Churchill. I haven't grown it before, it's new to me, but it's been around a long time. And my family have got a long history of working for the Churchill family, so I thought it's only right that I give this one a go. So looking forward to growing this year. Just pop that at the back. Now I grow my sweet peas on a heat mat to get them germinated. You don't need to grow them using heat. They will germinate at this time of year, and we're now at the end of October. There's enough warmth, and certainly the way the climate is these days, there's enough warmth still. They will germinate on their own. They'll just take a bit longer. This one here that I've just shown you, they were sown just 12 days ago. That's how quickly they've grown on the heat. So I just, as I say, sow mine in a seed tray. So I'll just get my packet of seeds. What you can do, if you don't want to sow in a seed tray, just for example, you can direct sow into a 5-inch pot. So you fill up your pot with compost, put the seeds on the top, cover them over a bit of compost, give them a water, and then in a few weeks' time they'll be germinated. You can use a pot. You can use things such as root trainers. And root trainers have been around a while now, and they're very good. But I would say if you're going to grow using a root trainer, probably a January sowing would be best. For the simple reason is they don't hold an awful lot of compost. They're quite small. So if you're going to put these in an October sowing, they're going to sit there for best part of 6 months before you can plant them out. So it's a long time for only a little bit of compost. And you don't really want to be keep feeding them up. And if the weather's bad in late March, early April, you might be able to plant out to the end of April. You'll be getting on for 7 months in a little pot. So in a little tube, I wouldn't use those apart from a January sowing. However, this is what I use, which is a similar idea, but it's just a big cell tray. These were designed really for tree saplings, but they are ideal for sweet peas because sweet peas have a deep root run. And they hold that much more compost. If I hold it up there, they're a bit deeper and they're a bit bigger, hold that much more compost. So I find that these absolutely superb. But again, from an early January sowing, I would use these. Is what I grow my exhibition plants in. But the plants I'm showing you now, the seeds I'm sowing now are for my Chelsea plants. The first batch I did 12 days ago, they were all the Spencer types, which are the bigger frilly flowers. And today I'm just sowing my old-fashioned ones. They're the smaller, daintier flowers, only about 6 inches long stems, very highly scented. But I do find they get away a little bit quicker than the Spencers, so that's why I delay sowing these a little bit longer. I do quite often leave it a little bit too late, and then I start to worry that they're not going to be ready for Chelsea. So I'm trying to get ahead of the game this year, get them in a little bit earlier. So this variety that I'm just sowing now is called Kupani. It's the original sweet pea, if you like. It's what it was named. The sweet peas were named after a Sicilian monk, hence the name Kupani. And that's where all modern day sweet peas have been bred from. So if you've got plenty of time on your hands, and if you're retired, I think that's what happens when you're retired. You've got loads of time. You would space your seeds out all nice and neatly in your seed tray. However, I'm not retired, well, not properly yet. So, and I grow so many, I haven't got the time to space them all out. So I just sprinkle the seeds quite haphazardly over the seed tray, trying to make sure there's a bit of space between them, but I don't space them all out nice and evenly. I haven't got time for that, not when I grow as many as I do. Some would say too many, maybe, yeah. Well, that'll be my wife. She's always telling me I'm growing too much stuff. So, anyhow, in they go, all nicely spaced out, and then I'll just cover that with some compost. Now I use a seed modular compost, which is quite low nutrients, so I don't want too much this time of year. They don't like it when it's too rich. So a nice low nutrient seed modular compost is ideal for these. Just about, I still work in old money, so about 1/4 inch over the top of the seeds, just so they're covered. Once they're covered, pat them down a little bit. Make sure, most important, write a name label so that you remember what they are. Pop that in the seed tray, and the seed tray will stay on the hotbed. Now what I'll do in a moment when I finish is I will give them a good soak of water. Now some people, there's lots of different ways to do sweet peas, lots of different ways of growing them. Some people pre-soak them, some people chip them. They score every seed to make sure the seed coating breaks so the seed germinates. I haven't got the time for that, I've never done all that. All I do is I soak them at the time of sowing. So I'll go over with a sprayer, just a gentle spray, make sure the seed tray is well soaked, and then they don't get watered again until they've germinated, which is most important. If you water them again after you've done the original watering, prior to them germinating, the likelihood is they're just going to rot. So just give them one really good soak, and then leave them to do their own thing. Once they've germinated, then as and when you need to, then you can water them again. The ones that have germinated that I sowed 12 days ago, they're still nice and damp. Even though they've been on a heat mat, there's still plenty of moisture there. I cover them all over with fleece so that keeps the warmth in. I say they germinate really quickly. But as I say, don't water them until they're germinated. Once you've done that original first watering, you must leave them. That's where most people go wrong. So, as I say, I will water these shortly. I'll cover them all over with garden fleece, and then hopefully in around 10 days time they'll all be up, and then in 12 days time they'll come off the heat, and then I can pop them up into my 5-inch pots. Now the reason I grow and use these 5-inch pots is because for the plants I use for Chelsea Flower Show, I just plunge, I take literally, tip the pot upside down with the plants in, and I plunge the whole contents of the pot in a hole in the ground in the polytunnel, and bush grow the plants. I don't separate the plants. They don't need to be grown individually like my exhibition plants for later on, the cordon grown ones. They all go individual plants in these cells, whereas the bush grown ones, which I use either for Chelsea, and I also do a load of bush grown ones for plant sales and for my own seed production. So my seed production beds would all be grown 5 in a 5-inch pot, plunged direct in the ground, and away they go. So there you go, everyone, and I'll hopefully do another video soon with the pricking out process, and then obviously planting, etc., as the season progresses. Okay, see you soon.